Two things. One, by the way, I realized something. I said before that Mr. Ephron said he'd seen the video previously when he said there were 2 shots. What I was talking about was when he was speaking to Wally. He had already seen the video. This was obviously after Rocky's arrest and after the civil suit was filed. So I wasn't suggesting he saw the video when he went to the police on November 8th, in case that came out unclear. My co-counsel thought it did. So anyway, now we're back on the Wally Sajimi case. Look, all I'm saying is this. Their witness said those are fake. They played it as if they were real. So, whatever that means. But here, I'm going to go back to the crux of the Wally Sajimi case, what we were allowed to play because they impeached the testimony of Ephron. And what I argued to you, and what I'll say again, is the only crime that was proven here was Relli's extortion. He heard it from his own mouth. And he boasted to Mr. Sajimi that he was getting $30 million. He said, I already know I'm getting 30 M's. And I told you at the beginning of this case, I said in the opening, that there would be clear evidence of extortion, and here it is.
You know what I'm saying? You asked for a bag without a lawyer first for extortion. You feel me? He's going to have to deal with that and his political ties and everything else. Because once I walk away, when I get my cash, the case gets way weaker. It's just like a domestic violence case. If you was to hit your bitch and your bitch was to keep on going through with the situation, you go down. But if you're not there, then you're going against the state and it's way weaker.
Stop for a second, pause for a second. You know, what he's saying is obviously he's going to trade his cash for the case, selling the criminal case. So he'll get his cash and he'll disappear. The example he uses, the analogy he uses, is disgusting. Of course, that's who Terell is talking about a domestic violence case, and he references hitting. He says you're a bitch, but that's how his mind thinks. That's his example that he could come up with. But it really just goes to show you who he is and how despicable he is. That was the example he gave. But what he's saying here is, I get my cash, I'm gone. Forget them. Play the next one, please.
If I'm not there, he pays me out through my lawsuit.
Oh.
I'll walk away. Basically, it's going to be hard for the team to find me because I'm going to be on another island. Just relax. You get what I'm saying? They're going to be scrambling to find me because now they have to go against Rocky, the state. And here they have evidence in this and that, but it's not going to be the same when you present it to a jury and you don't have a complaining witness.
That's it. Game, set, and match. That's extortion. That's him trying to sell a criminal case for $30 million. That he will go to an island, be relaxing, if he gets his money. Too bad for them. They'll have to go look for him. They have to find him. Imagine poor Detective Flores having to go search around, looking for Terell Ephron as he's on an island sipping pina coladas somewhere. It was $30 million. That's it. That's evidence of extortion. It's his mindset. He doesn't care about this. He just wants money. And you're his vehicle. The only reason, and by the way, this transcript's a little tough to read, I think, because I can't see it, but you'll have to go back with you, and you'll have the transcripts. But again, remember, the only reason he's not on some island somewhere relaxing, and we're all here in the storeroom, is because Rocky refused to be a victim of his extortion demands. It's that simple. And that's why he's using this trial, really, using these prosecutors. Now he's trying to use you to get him his money. Because he knows that a conviction here will get him what he really wants in the civil case. That's it. This isn't about justice for him. It's about a payout and a payback. My last quote of some of the greats in our history, which I love using some of the words of our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, said an injured friend is the bitterest of foes. We saw that come here live and in color. Lest there be any questions about his true intentions, consider this. He sent an article, you heard this testimony, to Wally Sajimi on December 24th, 2024, just before this trial started, entitled, Rihanna Fears Heartbreaking Consequence of A$AP Rocky's Trial. And he sent it with a smiley face. A smiley face. This parasite is happy if he can hurt that family, that woman, and her family by sending a smiley face. Like, that's funny. That's funny. Because she fears the heartbreaking consequences of this trial. So he doesn't care about this trial. He just wants his money. He wants to be on an island relaxing. And he's laughing and mocking what he can do for Rihanna and her family. And he needs you to get that done. Ladies and gentlemen, the prosecution has not proven this case not by a long shot. It's not even. This literally, I'm not telling you what to do. This can be a 5-minute verdict. You take as much time as you need. I'm not trying to impede on your province. The only thing proven beyond a reasonable doubt is that this Relli is a pathological liar, a perjurer, and an extortionist. That's what's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And they know that. They know that because they asked Detective Flores the question that I just never heard. I used to be a prosecutor. There was a question that they asked.
That's improper argument.
Sustained.
They know it's perjury. Sustained. He used to be a prosecutor, Your Honor. It's not part of the evidence.
What was the statement?
What?
I'm sorry, what was the statement, sir? What was the statement? I didn't. What part?
If they know it was perjury.
I didn't say they didn't do it. I didn't say they didn't. I said what was proven beyond a reasonable doubt because he's a pathological liar, a perjurer, and extortionist. Didn't say they knew. I understand the court's rulings.
Yeah, we objected regarding discussing him being a prosecutor.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, what they know, they asked Detective Flores this question. Would you agree, Detective Flores, that you don't need Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony to establish a shooting occurred? Well, first of all, you do need it. You do. Remember, after breaking it down with Detective Flores, he made it clear to you they have nothing without him. We broke it down with him. We'll show you that transcript in a second. So you definitely need him, but he's just not credible. Why the heck do you think they asked that question? I mean, think about what that question screams out to you in the jury. We don't expect you to believe him, ladies and gentlemen. But it's okay. It's still proven. No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. If you had to make a decision, the most important in your life or of that of your family is on his word, would you do it? Terell Ephron's word, would you do it? You all know the answer to that question. What you're being asked to do is make that decision in the most important matter in his life, on his word. Please look at the evidence carefully. Please. Evaluate it cautiously. And you'll see that there's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Right, maybe he's innocent. It's not only not that he's innocent. An innocent man's on trial with absolutely no concrete evidence against him, no reliable evidence against him at all, because he's innocent. He's not the luckiest man for the face of the earth, because there's absolutely no evidence of a shooting. And that heavy burden should not be yours to have to live with on this evidence. It should not be. It's not right, it's not fair to ask you to do what the evidence won't to condemn an innocent man. And by the way, remember this, it's in your instructions. Circumstantial evidence. If the evidence points to both guilt and innocence, you must, there's no option here, you must side with innocence. If there's two interpretations of the evidence, guilt or innocence, you must side with innocence. That's what the law is, Joe. It's in your little books. Jury instructions. You must. It's not an option. Terell, Ephron, I mean, what kind of system, seriously, folks, do we have if this kind of witness can convict someone and destroy their life? With all you know about him at this point. I've talked about there not being any forensic evidence in this case, no fingerprints, no DNA, there's none. No independent evidence outside of Terell, Ephron. And ladies and gentlemen, the judge told you it only takes one lie under oath to throw this case out of court by you, if you choose. It's your decision. But just one lie. It's justification for you to say, I disregard all his testimony. You can't even count the number of lies he told under oath in this case. You can't. He lied directly, he lied to your face, he lied under oath over and over, he exaggerated, he run around answers to try and avoid questions, he verbally assaulted me, he cursed in the courtroom, he threw a water bottle, flexed his muscles, he said he had enough, he was going to leave. How many does it take for you to know that this case is a fraud? To use Relli's own words, Relli's a fake. And he's just trying to profit off extorting Ephron. Just wait for one thing. Your verdict. Then he's got it. And if they come up and say, well, Relli's not on trial, that thought crosses your mind. It's true, he's not on trial, but he should be. He should be. Perjury, extortion. But he's not on trial. But what is on trial is his credibility. His credibility is on trial. And that you have to assess, and you get to assess. You must assess. The trial rises and falls on his word. With that in mind, again I ask, what kind of system do we have if we pick on the word of that man? That man. With all you know about him. The issue in this case is the life, future, and liberty of right. And that's what will be placed in your hands very shortly. And the question to have you before you first sit, do you believe Terell, Ephron beyond a reasonable doubt? I'm going to keep saying that because it's really what you need to discuss, is beyond a reasonable doubt or not. If you don't, Rocky has to go free. And go home. He has to. Submit upon this testimony you've heard, the perjury you've witnessed, the lies you've seen, the destruction of pieces of evidence you've observed, the fabrication of others, Mr. Ephron's trustworthiness. There's no way in the world that you can find that he's trustworthy beyond the reasonable doubt. There's no way. On the important issues in this case, so it's the ones he lied about. He lied about everything. He lied about the important issues. And if you can't do that, if anything they said to you, if anything they presented to you caused you to pause or wonder what really happened, if you had a doubt, a reasonable doubt, Rocky must be acquitted. He must be. That's our legal system. You just witnessed extortion demands throughout this trial of Ephron, the lies, the hiding of evidence, the lie about being in Los Angeles 2 weeks before this incident, 9 million of the shell casings, on and on and on. And if you think he was lying about these important issues, the prosecution's case fails. Fails. So it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not believe Terell Ephron beyond reasonable doubt, he must be acquitted. That's the law. A defendant in a criminal case is presumed innocent until the contrary is proved. In this case, it's not been proved. In the case of reasonable doubt, whether guilt is satisfactorily shown until it is, he's entitled to verdict. And presumption placed upon the people that heavy burden of proving guilt beyond reasonable doubt. And why is that standard called beyond reasonable doubt? Why? look, there are many, I just want to give you some sort of analogies on this, but there are many legal systems around the world who don't have this proof beyond a reasonable doubt standard. They don't use juries, they use judges 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4. But our country has a philosophy, and that is we cannot convict people who are innocent. We cannot ruin their lives because what happens is so harmful, devastating, brutal, based on anything but the strongest evidence. And what is being attempted here? It's so harmful, so brutal, so potentially devastating to him. That's why there's such a high standard. Standard is higher than what you find in civil cases when you have disputes over money or property. If you have a reasonable doubt about this case, about the testimony, about the double talk, about the lies, the perjury, the manipulation of evidence, the destruction of evidence, Ephron's motives, it's over. It's over. You must acquit Rocky.